Hi there, this is John Wilkinson again from History Made Easier, with the first of what will be 3 or 4 presentations on the SS SD Gestapo State, and how the Nazis forced compliance. Something that's easy to lose sight of, but is important to state. Despite all the troubles of Weimar Germany, the rule of law did operate in Weimar Germany. Nobody was above the law, and the judiciary operated independently of political life. Though we should also note that the Nazis had already established the SA, SS and SD during Weimar. The SS began life back in 1925 as an elite bodyguard for Hitler, a subsidiary of the SA, though it grew to be regarded as a state within a state. Such was its reach in policing the Nazi state, in the army, and even in the economy. The SS claimed to have an authority that overrode all others. It was responsible to the Führer alone, not to the party, not to the state. This would frequently put them into conflict with other Nazi agencies, such as the Party Gauleiters and even the Reichswehr. It was Heinrich Himmler who became its leader in 1929 that developed it into the dominant force in the Nazi state. Its leading role in the Night of the Long Knives in 1934 set it on that path. And when 2 years later Himmler was made Reich leader of the SS and chief of the German police, and he put Reinhard Heydrich in charge of the Gestapo, the apparatus of the SS SD Gestapo State began to take shape, responsible for defending the regime against its enemies, both internal and external, with the concentration camps run by its death head units. Its own military divisions formed and developed into the elite Waffen-SS, and playing a leading role in the Nazis' racial policies. War only strengthened its position, as the SS also took responsibility for the security of the occupied territories, which meant it was responsible for the new order in Eastern Europe. That is, the resettlement, and in the case of Jews and Gypsies, the eventual extermination of other races. What's more, by the end of the war, the SS was running 150 companies, extracting raw materials, manufacturing armaments, but also textiles and even household goods, and using slave labour, Jews, Roma, asocials, and also prisoners of war, and forced labour from the occupied territories to do so. The SD, set up by Himmler in 1931 and led by Heydrich, was the intelligence and counter-intelligence agency of the SS, identifying opponents, conducting surveillance and producing intelligence reports, often working closely with the Gestapo. It grew to have departments dedicated to left-wing opponents, religious dissenters such as Jehovah's Witnesses, right-wing nationalist opponents, Freemasons and Jews. It also monitored public opinion and kept a close eye on Nazi party members too, lest the party was being infiltrated by opposition groups. This was a particular worry to the Nazis when their membership rapidly grew. The SD also played a significant role in the Night of the Long Knives, helping to compile lists of those to be murdered, as well as participating in the murders. Later in the life of the regime, the SD played a key role in developing and implementing anti-Jewish policies, from the harassment in the early days of the regime right through to the Einsatzgruppen, the mobile killing units on the Eastern Front, and in the death camps. The Gestapo, the secret state police, was officially established by Hermann Göring in Prussia in April 1933, so shortly after Hitler became Chancellor. It was done by restructuring the Prussian political police to focus on perceived enemies of the Nazi regime. It was empowered by the Reichstag Fire Decree, the Decree for the Protection of People and State, of February 1933. While starting in Prussia, Himmler took control of the Gestapo in April 1934 and soon expanded its authority across all German states. In the first half of 1936, Himmler set up the security police, which put what you and me would refer to as the police, the Kripo in Germany, whose job was to catch criminals, and the political police, the Gestapo, with its close links with the SD, all under Heydrich's control. Although the regular police were themselves often anti-left and willingly hunted down communists and socialists and were dragged into the Nazi Party's increasing focus away from political enemies who had largely been dealt with and on to social deviants as well as the Nazis' racial policies. In any case, it was all reorganised again in 1939 under the Reich Security Main Office, the RSHA, which essentially raised it to ministry status, with Himmler and Heydrich raised to ministerial status. And it was the Gestapo that came to symbolise the oppressive state, the terror state, acquiring almost mythical status as an all-seeing, all-knowing state apparatus. Germans thought it had agents everywhere, in the workplace, in their clubs, in the pub, on the bus or the tram, even on the street corner. The truth of the matter, however, was very different. For a start, it was only a small organisation. At its peak, at the end of the war, it was only around 40,000 strong, and most of these were clerks and typists, busy compiling and updating the massive files they had on known communists, socialists, trade unionists, as well as other dissidents. Files that had, in the main, been started by the police in the Weimar Republic. There were very few agents in the field, nor paid informants, and again, many of those informants were already working for the police in Weimar Germany. But there's another low-level Nazi official who did their bit in keeping people in line and rallying support, and that's the block warden. Each warden would be responsible for around 50 households. There were around 200,000 of them across Germany, and, including their helpers, they numbered around 2 million. They were responsible for ensuring their neighbours hung out bunting and flags when things needed to be celebrated, and for pushing attendance to parades and rallies. They were often the first people informers went to see. In the workplace there were also the officials of the Labour Front, who made sure workers towed the line. These people could block a move to a new home, welfare payments, promotions at work, so they were not without power. And don't underestimate their importance to a regime that not only wanted to squash dissent, but wanted to turn everyone into believers. They were hated in working class districts, where sympathies for the SPD and KPD were still strong. So, that's a pretty good overview of the SS SD Gestapo State for you, that I hope proves useful. Now don't forget, there's my website, History Made Easier, that's there to help you too. Check it out if you haven't done so already. But for now, I will end by thanking you for listening to this, and wishing you the very best of luck with your studies. Cheers.